Hey, you found the Sales Hunter podcast. My name's Mark Hunter. What are we talking about today? It's about, hey, success in sales. You know what? It has nothing to do with being busy. It's all about being productive. That's the topic I'm going to unpack, and the show begins right now.
You're listening to the Sales Hunter podcast with Mark Hunter, where the focus is to help you as a sales leader sell with confidence and integrity. And now here's your host.
Okay, let's talk about this for a moment. Hey, see, success in sales has nothing to do with being busy. It really doesn't. It's about being productive. And it comes down to what I call consistency. You're going to know that in this series of podcasts, I'm unpacking what I call the 7 C's, 7 C's that are critical for success in sales. And this C is consistency. See, because consistency allows you to be productive. Okay, as long as you're consistent with the right things. Okay, I'm going to assume that you are because it's centered around prospecting. What are the metrics that you're using to stay in touch with customers? What are the metrics that you're using to measure your performance? You see, consistency is about being able to do the same thing in a repetitive manner to be able to make it happen. And this is absolutely key. Now, let's unpack this some more. It's amazing how so few salespeople follow up. Every salesperson says, I'm going to follow up, but they don't follow up. And so what happens is the sale becomes lost. It becomes lost very quickly because the customer's not hearing from you. And studies have shown, there's plenty of studies out there that say, okay, it's not like the fifth or sixth call that the customer will buy, but the average salesperson gives up after 2 or 3. I don't know. There's so many studies out there. But here's the premise. There's a tremendous amount of business to be had if you're just consistent. This is where your CRM system comes into play. You see, the sale is made in the follow-up, and you've got to be able to follow up on that. Now, consistency also is about being consistent with what it is that you're selling, how you're selling, who you're selling to, all the tools. In other words, the idea being is that you have a very uniform process. Now, this does not mean it's cookie cutter, but it means it's uniform in terms of you're going after the same type of customers who typically have the same type of problems, and you can use the same type of solutions. You're customizing them all along the way, but you're staying in a framework. You see, in my own business, what we have is we have a series of one sheets that address this issue, this issue, this issue. And what I can do in terms of following up is I can drip these out to customers, and they're very informative. They're incredibly informative. And what does it do? It allows me to follow up. It allows me to stay engaged without doing that proverbial, I'm just checking in. Checking in does not work. I'm not a hotel. You're not a hotel. Don't sit there and use that line. You see, the consistency is the fact that I don't have to make up a new one every time. I literally can just go to our cloud, pull it off, and send it. It's done. It's gone. See, I can follow up so quickly, so rapidly. What does that allow me to do? It allows me to keep more people in my funnel. It actually allows me to have more people in my follow-up process. What does it do? It increases my productivity. You see, if I had to develop one new for each customer, in other words, if every time I wanted to follow up with somebody, I had to construct something from scratch, I'd be busy, but I wouldn't be productive. And that's what I want you to think about. I want you to look at what it is that you do and ask yourself, how do I make this as extremely repeatable as possible? Now, remember, you're still customizing. You're still, but 90% of it is already done. See, because if I can be consistent on a daily basis and not get caught up in the shiny objects, again, think about how much more successful I'm going to be. Being productive is about having a repetitive plan that I can do time and time again. This comes down to also, for instance, being consistent in terms of the hour of the day you're going to be prospecting or the day of the week you're going to be prospecting. It's consistency in your calendar. Because again, if I can be consistent in my calendar, of course, let me do a quick shout out there because one of the things that I love talking about is my 10 a.m. rule. 10 a.m. What does that mean? It means by 10 a.m., I accomplish something significant. Because if I can accomplish something significant before 10 a.m., guess what? I'm undoubtedly going to have a more productive day. And chances are that thing by 10 a.m., that's reaching out and making some prospecting calls. That's making some sales calls. It's being absolutely consistent. In my own business, I have the number five. The number five, that is my number that I know that if I have 5 conversations a day, business is good. You may have 10, you may have 20, you may have two. Again, everybody's going to have a different number, but I just know in my own business, I do 5 a day. Business remains very good. It's all about consistency. It's all about consistency. Hey, my name's Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. This is the Sales Hunter podcast. I want you to leave a review. Please, would you? Drop me a note. Let me know. And make sure you subscribe to it on your favorite podcast app. Each week, 2 episodes, one a short one like this, and the second episode, a more longer one where we do a deep dive with a subject matter expert. Hey, I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. Great selling.